Hello, and welcome to the Clan of the Crow. It is your spiritual auntie Tavia, and I am currently filming this as well as uploading this for my podcast, and I'm going to put this on my Patreon, so you guys should come join me over there. And I think I'm going to start doing this more because I know people like to consume content in like different ways, and sometimes people like to see a visual, other times people just want to listen to this like a podcast, and that's what I want. So I know that the people who I am attracting want the same thing. This next topic of discussion was inspired by a Substack that I just created. So I am Spiritual Auntie Tavia across all social media platforms. So you should come follow me, and you can get the link in my bio that way, or you can go to theclanofthecrow.com if you wanted to book spiritual services with me. But I've been getting the nudge and like this like urge to like pour out my heart. And also I've been hearing a lot about the message of self-trust. So for me, that means, okay, I have the authority to say this. I am Spiritual Auntie Tavia. I have been doing this for a while. I've been asking how I can step into a leadership role, because I'm the type of person that doesn't necessarily feel like, oh, I don't know. But usually people say that makes the best leaders. So I did this Substack, and this is specifically about generational trauma breakers, cycle breakers like myself. Sorry, I am looking and making sure this is still recording. Okay. So I'm just going to read this out. You guys can also read this if this is something that you want to do. I do have a calm your nervous system healing frequency of 432 hertz, because if you're here, you're probably also a generational trauma breaker, and you're also a cycle breaker, and these things can feel heavy. I'm also going to be having Reiki going to help us transmute these timelines. Reiki is a universal healing energy, essentially from source, and Reiki can do no harm. But Reiki, you have to consent in order to receive it. If you do not consent, nothing will happen. Like the energy will just hit a wall and it'll dissipate and it'll go back to source. But if you do, you can consent by saying yes out loud. You could say yes in your head. You could put your hand over your heart, or your energy can just say yes. And this type of Reiki energy I love to do on myself when I'm doing like my shadow work. So I'm just gonna essentially make this as like a podcast episode / talking about breaking down generational trauma and generational curses. So it says, if you, this is me speaking, so I'm speaking to you. Yeah, you. If you are a generational trauma breaker, cycle breaker, went no contact with your family, and refused to carry on the toxic and dysfunctional traits, and you're also spiritual, this article might be for you. You refuse to put on a mask and continue the trauma and act like everything is okay when it really isn't. The cycle ends with you because you say no. You are the phoenix. I put this beautiful picture of this phoenix here. So for those of you who don't know, if you are new here, my man on my platform, I don't call him by his government name. He is known as Buddhist boyfriend. So just so you know, if I refer to Buddhist boyfriend, I'm talking about my man. He and I like to have philosophical, theological, mind-expanding conversations on a regular basis. If you don't have that with your partner, or you don't have a partner that you can do this with, I highly recommend that you get one. Over the past few days, energetically, there's been a lot going on astrologically. There was just the Venus and Jupiter conjunction, which a lot of astrologers, and I'm also going off like script here too, guys. So a lot of astrologers were saying like, oh my gosh, this is going to be this amazing thing. The energy did not feel amazing to me. And I was like, why am I feeling like this? I felt like I had two pieces just being like ripped freaking apart. So I was talking with Buddhist boyfriend the other night. So over the past few days energetically, and also too, I was experiencing this over the rare blue moon in Sagittarius. I had a lot of grief and ancestral trauma come out. And I was having all these thoughts and things of like, that aren't mine, this isn't mine. So like, for those of you who don't know, I don't want any kids. Like, I will be perfectly fine if I never have a child. I don't want to have a child. I'm doing everything possible in the world to not have a child. I helped raise my sister. I don't want to be a mother, and I don't want children, and that's okay. But talking about generational trauma, I've had a lot of like grief and like guilt come up because of that. And that's not me like at all. Like, I don't feel guilty. Every day I wake up and I'm like, this is the right choice for me. In another lifetime, in another dimension, I would know I would have been an amazing mother. But who I am now, like, girl, I'm a Capricorn sun, I'm a Taurus moon, I'm a Scorpio rising. Like, up until like maybe 5 or 6 years ago, my life was hell. So I think it's okay now where I am as a woman, really tapping into the energy of like, I can be selfish with my time and I can do what makes me happy, right? So I've been actively transmuting these things over the past few days, and over the past few weeks. And because I'm a generational trauma breaker, and because of that, these things are coming up, right? And so this is what I tell him. I was like, do you understand the heaviness of this? I said, and I have a picture of Virginia George going like, in my Substack. I was like, this is how I feel. I said, everything ends with me. So like, one, you have the ancestral trauma for me that has been coming up. The ancestral trauma of like not procreating. Like, oh, your clock's ticking. I'm 38. Like, when I see a baby, like my coworker asked me, she goes, when you see a baby, like your ovaries don't clench. And I said, that has never happened to me in my entire life. Like, never once have I looked at a baby and said, I want one. So what I'm saying is, it's like, I have that instinct of like nurturing and caring because I'm spiritual auntie, but I don't want motherhood from that. Anyways, those ancestral traumas of like surviving, like my grandmother grew up in World War II Germany. Okay. You know, and also too, Buddha's boyfriend was saying like, this is also like just human nature. Like, even if your mind is like, I don't want this, your body can be like, hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing specifically about having kids. So I am currently transmuting generational trauma from my ancestors right now, and all of them that have ever been, because I refuse to continue the religious trauma in my bloodline. I can refuse to continue the dysfunction in my bloodline, the shame, the fact that I've been told, or like just ancestrally, that you shouldn't put yourself first, you should put others first. I should want to have children. I should want to please my parents. Nah, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. And because I'm a cycle breaker, and if you're reading this or you're listening to this, or watching this will probably resonate with you as well. It ends with us, and sometimes that can be an extremely heavy burden. Because it ends with me and I'm choosing not to have children in this lifetime, I'm transmuting all that energy from all of my ancestors from behind me this way. And that is something that can be very emotionally heavy and emotionally burdensome, excuse me. And one thing as like spiritual auntie Tavi, if I can give you, some advice, I always like to ask for like spiritual and divine support, and I love working with the archangels San Rafael y San Miguel. For those of you who don't speak Spanish, Archangel Raphael, or Arcangel Rafael, or some people call them saints. Those are my boys. Archangel Raphael is the master healer, and he sends like healing energy. You can ask him for help at any time. Same with Archangel Michael, but he is over protection, and you can give your burdens to him. So for me, that is something that I feel like has been like super duper helpful for me. Another thing, and also I asked them to help transmute that energy, because this can be very heavy and this can feel very, very lonely. A lot of times you feel like people don't understand you. They don't want to understand you. They try and tell you you're overreacting, you're doing too much. Why don't you just keep the peace? But here's what Auntie got to say to you about that. From this, my message from Spirit, like when I was writing this, was, but what about your peace? What about your fucking feelings? It's okay to put yourself first. And I feel like in transmuting this cycle breaking energy, traumatic cycles, sorry, Auntie needed some water. It's okay to just put yourself first. And one of the ways that you can do this is by putting yourself first is the first start. I feel that a lot of people don't push past putting themselves first because it feels like wrong to you or wrong in your body, or you feel guilty for doing that, or other people make you feel guilty for that. Auntie's gonna tell you a secret. The more you start to put yourself first, the easier it gets, and that feeling eventually goes away. I also feel like right now, because I have Reiki going, I started my Reiki before the video. With that is transmuting this energy. Do you hear how, like, so if you're also experiencing like throat, if you can hear that I am like coughing, I also might be transmuting the fact that like my ancestors before me have never been able to speak this, right? I know I'm not the first ancestor in my bloodline that didn't want fucking kids, but I'm the first one in my bloodline that said, no, fuck this shit, I'm not doing it. So by me just saying that out loud, sometimes that can release a chain. So if you're feeling those types of things, of like if you want to speak your truth, or while you're listening or watching this, you're starting to feel like certain symptoms like that, that's a good sign because things are trying to be released. So with that, when you start to put yourself first, like I said, I'm going to tell you a secret. The more you do that, that feeling eventually goes away. Also, if you were having boundaries, which is another part of breaking generational trauma, having personal boundaries and not allowing people, especially family members, to violate them, that's another thing. You have to put out your boundaries and be like, no, we're not doing this. And like, accept the consequences of people going to be upset. They're going to be frustrated because for your whole entire life, they've been able to treat you however it is the hell that they want to treat you. And Auntie's here to tell you that that's something that can feel like weird in your body at first. Like it can feel like, like if you feel that like, oh, every time I do that, my body has a reaction, that is a good sign. Your nervous system is like, what's going on, right? It is your chance to say, calm down. Everything's okay. Nothing bad is going to happen. Everything's going to be all right. It's okay for me to stand up for myself. It's okay for me to say no. So like I said, that energy can feel weird in your body some of the first couple times you do it, especially when you first tell people no, or when you first hold up a boundary that you have. But I promise you that that gets easier with time. Now, I don't give a fuck. I don't care if you're upset. I don't care if you're mad. And another thing, that I wanted to make you guys aware of is that I have customized these. They're called deep alignment sessions, where we talk through these issues together. So that's where my auntie/friend comes in. We talk through these issues together. And by you talking, I have this like superpower where I can look and see, oh, you're saying this, that sounds like religious trauma to me. Okay, we're going to do a guided meditation here, or we're going to clear some of that energy. You're going to tell me what it is that you're feeling, and we're going to talk through it. And I hold a sacred space, and I create a container to transmute that energy. And I help you navigate those feelings, and we really get to the root of what the issues are, and like really get away from limiting beliefs it is that, you know, we carry. Because like I said, a lot of this stuff has nothing to do with us. It's not something like these feelings of guilt and things that are coming up. It's not even ours. And that's exactly what I wrote next in this. It's like, because what another thing people don't necessarily think of is that when these things and feelings are coming up and you're like, where the fuck is this shit coming from? You're also transmuting your ancestral trauma. Like I was saying, these things that you might be experiencing aren't even yours. And the energy that, you know, comes through, one really great way to like get energy out of your system that isn't yours necessarily. Emily Dexter, her handle is Liker of Words on TikTok and Instagram. She says you can say this affirmation and you can just literally say, any energy that isn't mine can leave now. For me, I get aggressive with that shit. Any energy that isn't mine can get the fuck out now. Period. End of story. Okay, moving on. And so what I do in those sessions, sometimes you just need somebody else to like be there with you and be like, oh, like for me, I always have clients who literally have had so many similar experiences to me, like people who have narcissistic abusers. Hey, hi, I've experienced that too. Oh, I grew up with religious trauma. Hey, my name's Spiritual Auntie Tavia. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. I grew up in a cult. Hey, I, dated somebody that was, married unbeknownst to me, and he lied to me the whole time. Hi. Like I'm saying, like, girl, like, I'm still fucking real. And that's why these things work. And those sessions that I do can help you pull out those limiting beliefs, remove that trauma. So you can book them at theclanofthecrow.com. So to wrap this all up, if you're a generational trauma breaker, a cycle breaker, and I want to remind you that this path is not something that's easy at all, but you wouldn't be here if you couldn't do it. And on my Substack, I do have a little link to a YouTube cleanse, like negative energy cleanse. Oh my God. This whole week with all whatever the fuck is going on astrologically, the energy, I feel like I think I said this already, like I'm being ripped apart or pulled in like two completely separate directions. And I just needed some like energy cleansing. So if you guys go over there, you can find it there. And I'll also post it in my Instagram story, and then I'll highlight it for you guys. Okay. And I randomly just stumbled across it like the other day, and I literally was just like, oh my God, this shit is amazing. Also, another thing to remember right now is that through these times, you can always call upon divine support from your spirit team and your spirit guides at any time. Your angels, your ancestors, your spirit team, source, God, your gods, your goddesses, whoever it is that you pray to, they always want to help you. And just remember, all of it ends with you. This isn't easy. You're a motherfucking badass bitch. You can do this. You got this. And I just want to remind you that I'm super fucking proud of you. Before I let you go, I do want to remind you guys that if you're looking for community or a place where I go into more depths or details about astrological happenings like this, I post multiple times a week on TikTok and Instagram and on my YouTube. Doesn't matter where you follow me, I post the same content except on Threads. Threads is where you really get to hear and see like who it is that I am like internally. And I also have a Patreon, and I do have free and paid memberships as well. So I hope that your dreams are sweet. I hope your coffee is strong. You fucking got this. I love you.